Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Evan. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a huge thumbs up, and consider using my Amazon affiliate link down below, as this is no cost to you and benefits the channel. Moving on to what this video is about. Today I'm going to go over a couple things about going to buy your first E46, kind of a must-watch video before buying an E46. If you see me looking down at my phone, it's just because I have my notes on the phone. But I will say the E46 is a tremendous driving car. I recently took my 2002 E46 on a spirited drive, and I just couldn't believe how much fun this car was to drive. I spent so much time working on my car because there's a lot wrong with it, because unfortunately I didn't have all the necessary tools to make sure I bought the right car that was fully repaired, up and running, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm making this video, to help avoid some of the mistakes I made on buying my first BMW, and it being an E46. I think the BMW E46 is a great first BMW for anyone, and a great BMW for any enthusiast. However, if you do not pick out the right one, it could be sort of a money pit depending on what has been done to it by the previous owner. Really, maintenance before buying this car is what matters. If the car was poorly maintained, then you're probably going to have a lot of issues with it, but if it was well maintained, then you should be all set, and the car drives like a dream. So the first couple things that I want to mention that I missed buying the car is, guys, inspect the paint. My car has a awful paint job. It was a Maaco done paint job. It's flaking, it's so bad. And definitely when you're checking out the paint, I look for any previous signs of damage to the car, whether it was in an accident, and a lot of these cars can be in an accident, but it's okay if it's in an accident as long as it's repaired correctly. My car was hit in the quarter, it was not repaired correctly. My quarters were repaired and they were not repaired correctly. And that's moving on to my next point. Guys, these cars have a rust problem. Please look around the car thoroughly for rust, especially on the rear quarter panels. Those are where these cars rust the most, so definitely very important to check that out. Another thing to check out is near the jack pads for rust. I had a lot of rust on one of my jack pads, is almost destroyed because it's rust, and I need it cut and welded, and that's another whole project. But check out the jack pads while you're under the car. Next thing I want to talk about is the body and chassis. One thing to note about the E46, and you probably know from doing your research, is that these cars can have a weakened subframe. So the subframe can actually pull itself out of the body. The subframe can be cracked on the car, so it's definitely something you need to check, where the subframe mounts up to the car. And it's kind of hard to check if you can't get it up on a lift and really inspect it, but usually the newer cars are better off with a more reinforced subframe mounts. Next, definitely check out all the electronics. Check out the window regulators, check out your lights, check out the radio. If you have a sunroof, check out the sunroof. Check out all the AC controls, heating controls, heated seats, steering wheel buttons, and if you have a convertible, make sure the roof works. If the roof doesn't work, I'd probably say stay away from it. Matt and I had a very tough battle trying to get his roof to work, and it turned out to just be a fuse. But we checked a lot of other things first, because we assumed all the fuses were good, because the guy that we bought it from actually said he checked all the fuses and they were all fine. So we kind of took his word for that, and that was kind of our mistake. But still, the other thing I would check with the E46 is water leaks. Yes, this car could have potentially water leaking in, whether it's the roof, whether it's the sunroof drains where they drain down the pillars, or you're getting it in the trunk. Check the car for water leaks. If you smell a musty smell in the trunk, probably stay away, because it could have water in the trunk. Another thing that, when checking out the electronics, that I forgot to mention, is also check out to make sure the heat and AC blower motor works. Now, if it doesn't, not a huge deal, but if it just goes on off, that's a sign of the final stage resistor needs to be replaced. Not a huge deal. It's very easy and very inexpensive. All right, moving on to the engine of this car. Generally speaking, the inline six motors that come in the E46 are very reliable. However, every single E46 has an extremely weak cooling system. If the cooling system has not been replaced, you will need to do it. Everything in the cooling system is plastic, and by the age of this car, all the plastic is very brittle. So FCP does make kits for this, but again, if you're getting this car, you need to make sure you're ready to get your hands dirty. This car could be a potential huge money pit if you cannot do the work yourself. So definitely, whether the cooling has been replaced in the past, I would replace it again, but if it's just been replaced, you're probably all set. Next thing is to make sure there's no check engine lights, and actually scan the car with a scanner. If you have a BMW specific one, whether it be Carly, Impa, or something like that, definitely see if you can scan the engine codes to see if the car has anything wrong with it. Another huge thing, and you probably guessed it, is oil leaks. These cars leak oil. They leak oil from the oil filter housing gasket, the valve cover gasket, and various other spots, but really the big two are the valve cover gasket and the oil filter housing gasket. Good news for you, or good news for any owner of an E46, is the valve cover gasket is pretty cheap, and the oil filter housing gasket is only $4. However, you may not actually see the car leaking oil just due to the splash guard at the bottom. It kind of pulls in all the oil and it doesn't allow you to see any oil leaking. So that's why if you could get the car up on a lift, take it off, see if the car is actually leaking oil, that would be very, very helpful. Another thing to check in the engine is pop open the oil cap and look on the top and see if you see almost this like sludge, this yellow sludge. That's water and oil condensing together, and that usually means your CCV system is bad, and that is kind of a pain to replace, but definitely something that's probably going to need to be replaced if you're buying an E46 at this age. So just be prepared due to the age of the car. Another thing you could put in a catch can like I did. With all this being said, there's probably some other issues that you may find buying your car. And again, I wouldn't stray away from that specific car if it's everything you want. Just make sure that you can fix these items on your own, because it'll be very expensive if you have to pay someone to fix all these items. And again, they're not the hardest BMWs to work in the world. This is where I learned most of my mechanic skills and electronic skills of cars, is through working on my BMW E46. It's a great first car to learn how to fix things and learn the electronic side. Now, with all that aside about issues potentially wrong with the car, I want to go over the packages available on the car. There's a lot of weird packages that you can get, so I just want to make you guys aware of all the packages available so you can get the right E46. The first one that I will be going over, and I'm going to go over the most popular packages as well as some rare ones, but the most important option or package, it's going to be divided into options and package, because as you know, you can sometimes just option for something instead of getting the full package. So the first one is xenon headlights. This is a very good option to get. It adds increased light output and adds a very sharp cutoff line, and you see those white lights when you're going down the road. I just think they're safer, they project farther, and I really like the way xenons look. So definitely try to get a car with xenons. They're readily available. Most E46 come with them. The next thing is navigation. This is actually something I would say to skip, just because the navigation system on the car is so outdated. I usually opt for like an aftermarket double DIN that allows you to have CarPlay, and it fits the design scheme of the car. So definitely I would skip that, but again, that's personal preference, up to you. Next thing, if you live in a cold climate, I recommend getting your car with either heated seats or trying to find a car with the cold weather package. This adds heated seats, the ski pass, and headlight washers, and also a cold weather CCV system. My car was not a cold climate car, but it did come with heated seats and the ski pass, thankfully, but it did not come with the headlight washers, which usually gets added in the cold weather package. The next option that I want to go over, it seems to be very rare in the US, but it seems very common in Europe, and that is park distance control. As many of you guys know, I did retrofit that to my car and I absolutely love it. So definitely something to see if is available in your area when looking for E46s. Those are the options. Now I'm going to kind of summarize it into packages, and this has mostly everything included in the packages. So the first package that I would say definitely go for is the sports package. The sports package is available on all E46s unless you had the ZHP, and obviously it wasn't available on the M3. But this gives you the 3-spoke steering wheel. It also gives you the sports seats with adjustable thigh support, which is really nice. It gives you the 17-inch sport rims and the sport suspension. So the sports package is really cool. It's also known as the ZSP. Moving on, definitely recommend getting the premium package. The premium package also adds the sport wheels, tires with the multifunction steering wheel. It gives you a wood grain trim, rain sensing wipers. So you have a rain sensor at the top of your windshield that is used for the headlight and the wipers. This actually became standard equipment in 2004. Another thing that is included in the premium package is the auto dimming rear view mirror, which I really like at night. If a light is blinding, it kind of turns this, it takes away the glare, which is really nice. The other thing is a moon roof that you get. So you get the sunroof with the premium package. And like I said, or sorry, I haven't mentioned yet, I think most E46s in the US come with these packages, the premium and sports package like standard. I don't think it's incredibly rare. Now, the next one I want to go over, this is kind of really rare, and if you live in the US, or sorry, if you live in North America, you can get this, and this is probably the best E46 package to get, and it's hard to find, and they're kind of worth, people think they're worth too much, but they're not really worth that much extra, but they are pretty rare. So if you could find one of these, this would definitely be the best E46 package to get, and that is the ZHP package, which basically gives you all the performance BMW parts that were available at the time. So that includes 18-inch style rims, which are the style 135 M Sport rims that they get in Europe. You get the M3 style wheel with the M badging on it. You get a short weighted shifter if your car was a manual. It also was available in a Mola red, which was not available in the standard E46 colors. Another thing, you get the M-Tech 2 body kit, which, as many of you guys know, I absolutely love, and I'm trying to track one down. This summer, one of my goals is try to get the full M-Tech kit, or at least one of the M-Tech bumpers for front or rear, trying really hard to find those for a good price. The next thing that the ZHP offers is an increased tune on the car. So the horsepower has been increased by 10. It also had the option for a 6-speed transmission, and it also had upgraded suspension components, which are larger sway bars, stronger bushings, lower ride height. So that is absolutely the best package to get, is the ZHP, in my opinion, if you really want a sporty BMW without stepping up to the M3. However, if you live in Europe, you do not have the option for the ZHP. However, you could just get an M Sport car there, which gave you the bumper, steering wheel, suspension, wheels, but you don't get necessarily the upgraded tune, the upgraded cams. The ZHP also came with a performance exhaust, so stuff like that you're not necessarily getting, and they had a special Alcantara interior, but you could get the M Sport in Europe. So if you're in Europe, definitely try to get an M Sport car, as they look much better, or even a Club Sport if possible. So that is everything I have about the E46. This is why it's just like a must-watch video before buying an E46. It just has some helpful things to look out for when buying an E46. That is all I have for today's video of must watch before buying an E46. So if you guys are considering buying an E46, definitely take a look at this video, watch it fully, because there's a lot of good information inside of the video. If you guys are looking to buy this sick BMW sweatshirt, I'll also have it linked down below. And please consider using my Amazon affiliate link, as it does help out the channel. Also, please consider subscribing, give this video a huge thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.